Bytom/US dollar. First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of today by liking and subscribing. So here is the pair BTM/USD. Okay, let's quickly look at their website. So embrace the extensive application era of blockchain, a unified platform for putting assets on the blockchain. Yeah, explore the boundaries of blockchain with innovation. Bytom integrates multi-asset protocols, optimizes asset flow efficiency, and puts assets on the blockchain in an intelligent way. High throughput and friendly user experience, low gas cost, no delayed POV finality, flexible and secure multi-asset cross-chain protocol, which is accessible to native assets on other blockchains, self-developed smart contract development tools, help users build the apps through template design. So let's jump into the charts. So this is the long-term picture. Weekly data points. So what I find especially interesting right here and right now is this horizontal support level. So you see it like here, we test here, 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 and here. So historically speaking, this has been a pretty good time to turn bullish on Bytom. If you look at some of the prior rallies, like this one approaching 300%, this one approached 400%, so there certainly can be some pretty significant moves. So from a pure like risk-reward perspective, it's not been a bad time to go bull on Bytom at these levels historically, and that's going way back here to 2019. It is true that the more times the floor is hit, the higher the odds that it will break. So definitely you do want to have some kind of a stop in place. Let's see whether there are time cycles. Let's potentially, yeah, you could argue that it is time cyclish, I guess. The size of the time cycles has differed, but it's one of those, buy low, sell high investments. Okay, so let's explore a bit further and look at the indicators. Looking here at historical RSI, this is a level that has a tendency to attract buyers. The distance from the green 50-week moving average is at a level that most of the times is bought. Same here with the blue 100-week moving average. When we go here to the daily data points, yeah, RSI is back to the close to the middle neutral zone. We do have a bit of a buy signal here on the MACD. I think that overall, from a technical perspective, this looks interesting from a bullish perspective. Then we look at some correlations. So if we start here with the long-term picture, weekly data points, only -5% negative correlation here with the S&P 500, which is very, very weak. Well, it's almost no correlation at all. Then -9-ish% here with gold, 14-ish% positive with Bitcoin, -6-ish with the dollar index. Looking short term, -43% here with the S&P 500, 37% positive with gold, 42% positive with Bitcoin, and -56-ish% negative with the dollar index. So there are correlations here, but there's not like really strong correlations. Though there are benefits to having these lukewarm correlations, and that's because whether you are long or short, Bytom, you don't have to be that concerned about what happens, to, as an example, Bitcoin, because there's only short-term, 42% positive correlation. Long-term, it's only around 13, 14-ish. If we had, say, a 99% positive correlation with Bitcoin, then it basically would mean that they move together. So what happens with Bitcoin would be a big deal for what happens with Bytom. But the facts are here, and there's very weak correlation. And that is super important to think about when, making, that is super important to be aware of when designing an overall portfolio. Okay, so let's quickly look at some other cryptos. So let's look at Bitcoin, the king of them all. So yeah, we are seeing this rally. I would prefer to just see us calm down a bit because yeah, trying to pull off this major breakout, you know, above these highs now, it's just risky. I think it's a bit too early. I would like us to spend a lot more time, ideally actually to have the breakout maybe around, you know, New Year's Eve, you know, because then it could be, you know, it's symbolic, but also you would be able to calm down all kinds of technical indicators. You have a nice cool down period, and that makes it much easier to have a sustained breakout. So even though, yes, I am bullish on Bitcoin long term, I do, however, want a sustainable breakout, and I am a bit worried about how aggressive this rally is, because we have seen before, you know, what happens when you have, I mean, we don't have, you know, that excessive RSI yet, on the weekly data points at least, but when you look here at, you know, the PPO vis-a-vis, you know, the 20-week moving average and the 50-week, there have been times in the past when this kind of level has been risky, in the sense that, you know, it increased the probability that we would have a pullback. Around the RSI on the daily data points, we are approaching the elevated, you know, overbought-ish region on the RSI, and that comes at an inopportune time, given that we are that close to having that breakout. So let's measure the distance. So in order to have a breakout, we would have to rally 17%. Yeah, looking here at the PPOs, the distance from the 20-day moving average, and also the 100-day moving average, and also the 50-day. These kinds of, if you look at it historically, right? If you look here at previous times, and you can see that, you know, this blue tool, you see, it is measured here on the left and also on the right. So here we had a pullback. Here we had some pullback. So basically, the rally happened too fast. So yeah, I don't like that, given the history. The history here is pretty clear. These kinds of moves are risky, and it would be a really bad idea, a very bad signal if we failed to break out now and then have a breakdown, because then we would have like a major topping pattern. Yeah. Okay, whatever you do, of course, you want to let the trend be your friend.